Fran's friends. Today is now the 1st of September. In August, I had made a decision that I would do a few things, have a little bit lighter month, and just do small projects. And that's what we did. At the point, we're up to 75 videos. We did a few videos in August. One of them was the preparing for the craft shows or the fall fairs. And what I wanted to do is, lots of people have been entering into these fall fairs, and I thought, what type of things can you do for preparation for entries? And I thought, let's have some fun and let's use this as a learning opportunity. So my son and I decided we would make some business cards, and I did ask when I applied to enter if I could take my cards to the fair, and they said absolutely. So we did our cards, and I have probably 1,000 of these lovely little cards. And this is, I'm Fran, the resourceful crafter, and I have my QR code on there, my AI little picture of me, and then on the back it has fransfriends.com. So that's what we did to help to prepare for the fair. I had to also think about what I could do to enhance and explain the projects that I'm putting in. So what we also did was I took pictures of the front and the back of the cards, and I made cards that I'll put onto the actual projects. And I made these, put them onto the computer, and I made these little hard stock cards that will be attached to each of the entries. And then you put your name and phone number, etc. on the back of it. And it also promotes the website, which is what this whole purpose of entering is for. So I did a whole bunch of those on the computer, and I'll cut them out as I need them. So I just use the pinking shears around, and I'll put just a piece of thread through to attach it to the project. So that was one of the things. The other thing I did was I wanted to make sure that my logos were kind of evident. So I made a couple copies of Fran the Crafter, Fran's Friends. And so I've got that one, and I'm either going to leave them in the plastic casing, or I'm going to take them into Staples and have them, put onto plastic. So then we also did another one, which was the two of them, fransfriends.com, and the front of the card, and then on the back I just put a card on either side. So those were some of the things that I thought I could put with the projects to really create and emphasize the website. And that was fun to do. Then I had to make a decision as to what I was going to put into it. And there's certain categories that they have. And one of them is an art doll that's dressed, a handmade art doll dressed. Now, I don't know if I could put my animals, because I've got two that I'm preparing for. One is August's Ruth the horse I would like to enter. And the other one is I might try for Ellie the elephant, because they're both art dolls and they both have creative costumes made for them. So that was the other thing. Then one of the other categories was for something they've got as sort of an entry of where it fits in kind of thing, because they're not sure where it would go. And one was I'm going to put in my chicken and my rooster, and that should be interesting. The entries are $2 a piece for each one. The other category that I thought I might try is there's one for home decor, and being a Canadian, and I thought maybe I would enter a Christmas table decor that I did 2 years ago when my son came home for Christmas, to emphasize the loyalty we have to Canada. And all I did was I used $2 store dish towels, and I made whole setting of decor for my table, for my Christmas table. And there's a stocking that you put your knife and fork and spoon in. I made crackers out of canvas and the dish towels. I made reindeers for the center table. So I thought Canada or Canadian A, that might be kind of fun. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the last category was again one that fits into, I'm not sure where it would go. And I thought, my bears. So I decided that I'm going to enter my mohair bears that I did in July, and also a new bear that I made just this month, and this is called Sugar Bear. And the reason for Sugar Bear is I utilized the border of making embroidery borders to make it clothes for the bear, to tie that video on the embroidery together. So that's the ones I'm going to enter into the fair. I'm going to go down and pay for them. And the other thing I did for the entries is I'm going to put in my template to explain the project, what materials I used, the techniques I used, the alterations, the signatures, symbolism, and cost analysis. So I've got a picture of Ruth the horse, and then the template will go with it as well. I've also done that for the chicken, for calling it birds of a feather flock together with the template, and also pictures of the actual projects. So that's the preparation I did. I don't know if it was going to work or not, but I had a lot of fun getting it organized and getting it sort of set to have some fun with it. So that's the whole purpose of what I'm doing, is to have fun. And so that's the project that we did for mostly August, for the preparation and the video on how to prepare and what things you can do. And also when I'm finished, it's held in the middle of September, I'll do a video on what I learned and what I could have done or what I shouldn't have done. So that'll be for September. So other videos that we did in August was going to the circus miniature bear. I've always wanted to start making miniature little bears, and I took on one I called Going to the Circus, and all this is just a pattern out of it's with like a bear fleece, and I put it onto a disc. I got a video in August for the mini bear, circus bear, and all it is on a one of those discs, that you play the music on, and then with a little ruffle around the neck and her little hat, and there she is. It didn't take all that long to make, but I think she turned out really cute. So that was one of the things I did, was my miniature circus, and they were small projects, so no large art doll projects for me for August, that's for sure. The other thing I wanted to venture into, and I've gone back into some of the old videos, is the embroidery part of it, to be able to learn how to enhance borders and fabrics with embroidery floss and techniques. So what I did is I set forward and I tore up a bunch of my pillowcases that I keep my stuffing in, and I tore them and I folded them in half and ironed them and then stitched a line down. And then I tried different techniques for blanket stitching with beads, increased types of different blanket stitchings for borders. So this is why I did this little sugar bear. Now on the bottom of her little dress, the beads are in the gold on the bottom and the pearls on the top, and on the top part it was the gold beads on the top and the white beads on the bottom. So on the back, or on her little heart shape, I've got this in a different type of a border. So what I want to do for the month of September is I'm going to carry on and do a different order, maybe one a week, and then sort of put a video together at the end of the month to see which ones we've done. So this was the little project that we did, and she turned out adorable. And as I say, I'm going to enter her into VIX. So that was the other thing with the embroidery, is I found not just borders, but also larger cloth ones. And I saw one, and it was circles, and all they did was a stab back stitch all the way around the circle, and then they incorporated beading embroidery around it. It looked very effective, so I'm going to try that for maybe September's Christmas ornament for the Advent calendar. And I might try, there's a few different ones, so because those don't tend to take too long because they're smaller projects. So those were some of the things that we did. We did also, I did a video on a memory lane dachshund, and I made a dachshund out of Tilda pattern, and I used an old knitted sweater that my mom had made for my first 2 little dachshund dogs for Christmas, and they've been in the cupboard for years and years and years. I've not been able to get another one. It hurts too much, painful when you lose them. So what we did was I made the dachshund and then dressed it with the coat, the knitted coat. And it's the first time I'd ever used knitted fabric and stabilized it, and it worked. It worked out really well, so I was pleased with the progress with that one. So there's a video on that as well. So as I say, 75 videos now. So September, what are we gonna do in September? I'm gonna definitely do the fall fair. And then I've got a bunch of new patterns that have come out. I think I might go back to the birds this month. And small patterns, a little bit larger patterns, we'll see where we go. I want to continue, as I say, on with the embroidery stitching. And I'm going to do another one. I've got a couple new little techniques that I've learned in the last month that I'll put out for my techniques and tricks of the trade updates. I'm going to do maybe another small little miniature little bear. I'm going to start a series on that with the CD, standing on little CD covers. And I'll try another one, maybe a female one, with little beaded borders or something. And then the other thing we were thinking about is we're into September, and this journey is into its 9th month. It's hard to believe. And the thought is shall we continue at the end of December, and where do we go? So over the next couple of months, I'm going to put my thinking cap on as to how we can either advance, and I really have enjoyed doing everything I do. I've learned so much over the months. I've had lots of issues with problems that I've had to solve, and it's been quite the journey. So I'm going to be thinking on that, thinking ways that if I do carry on, which I hope to, maybe we'll go off in a little bit of a different direction. I'd like to be able to get more in tune with the viewers. Maybe a Q&A, question and answer, if you email me a problem that you're having, and it would give me the opportunity to do the research to help solve your problem, that kind of thing. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I know that we did try the split screening on the videos this month too, and I was pleased with how that turned out. So that's August behind us, and now we're into September. I know the weather's going to be turning soon, and people will be getting back into their crafting projects, and hopefully we'll learn more together. I do want to take the opportunity to thank somebody. My husband has been diligent about passing out my cards and trying to promote this website. And he gave a card to one of his coffee buddies. And his wife wrote me a very lovely card. And she sent me some of her, previously unused crafting materials. And it just made my day. So I won't mention your name, but I would really hope you see this video, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was absolutely tickled pink, enthralled with the thoughtfulness of your card. So thank you. So here we are, September, moving onwards. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you shortly. Bye-bye.